The murder of Shraddha Walkar continues to be our big non-stop coverage.
This was an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship.
They said that Shraddha and Aftab used to fight a lot and that there were attempts made to mediate between the two.
Alright, so this video is inspired by a couple of recent events. First, a conversation that I had with a mentee, and second, a text message from a relative. This is how harmful and problematic dating apps could be. Mayank, why is that nice guys like me who love, respect and adore women who want an equal partnership are left alone in the field, whereas these motherfuckers, these crazy psychopaths are easily mingling and sleeping around with women left, right and center? Well, this is going to get long. This is going to get detailed. This is going to get nuanced and very specific, if I may, about the problems that we need to resolve as a collective. So, not going to hype you up any further, not going to waste any more minute. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Mayank Bhattacharya. This is Life Essentials. Let's roll. Okay, so first thing first, before we get any further, what happened to Miss Shraddha Walkar is tragic. It's frightening, hateful, and really boils my blood to step out and beat the living pulp out of these motherfuckers. But sadly, I can't. So no, what happened to that poor girl should not and must not happen to anyone ever on this planet. May the God, the universe, the Almighty give all the needed strength, support and peace to the family and her soul wherever it may be. But my condolences, ladies and gentlemen, does not discount the psychopaths, lunatics and the crazies. I mean, they have always existed in the society. No, not only in our Indic society, but in every given society of the mankind. Ted Bundy, for example, the guy from the United States of America. What was he? A lunatic, a serial murderer, a fucking psychopath. So yeah, cutting a partner in 35 pieces and disposing it off one by one, bit by bit, piece by piece for weeks and days in the making, and on top of it, keeping her head cut out and stored in a freezer for months just to look at it and get some kind of sadistic pleasure. If this does not define a psychopath, I don't know what does. But hey, that's not it. This motherfucker went back on these dating apps and he matched with a few other girls and got them home while he had kept his ex's head, his ex's served head in the freezer in the room next door. No shame, no remorse, no guilt, no apology. If this is not insanity, kindly explain me what is. Now yes, this may sound a lot more scarier when I put it out like that, but trust me, whatever I'm going to speak next will only make sense, will only help you if you choose to listen to it with an open, liberated mind. You see, pre-internet, pre-social media, it was a lot more difficult to hunt these psychopaths, hunt these sociopaths, hunt these motherfuckers down and punish them, publish about them, and even serve them their appropriate sentencing. But thankfully now we have this tool with which both men and women can be taught, made aware of, and be held accountable for all at the same given point in time. But it's not just about the accountability and the awareness, you see. This insanity or this lunacy is a lot more deep-rooted than usual. And honestly, personally, I don't see it fit blaming the dating apps, the matchmaking websites, or the matrimonial portals for such incidents, events, and crazy. Yes, this could have happened with or without the app or the websites or the platforms in discussion. Yes, such psychos, such sociopaths, such murderers have always existed in the society much before the internet, social media or the apps in the discussion. So honestly, we cannot have this extreme view on things just because it does not sit well with our narrative. I mean, at the end of it, ladies and gentlemen, instead of being all extreme and shallow about this problem, I would much rather use this platform, I'll much rather use my channel to talk about this issue, rather appropriately decipher this issue with some clarity. You see, toxicity has various forms, and it'll probably take me another 3 hours to sit and talk about toxicity and its details. So in order to keep things brief and succinct, let's just talk about the basic modules in discussion. Toxicity type 1, the one where it could be detrimental to your own life. Or the toxicity type 2, the one where it could be detrimental, damaging, threatening, or simply put, destructive or life-ending to someone else's life. Now, the first type of toxic behavior, the one where you harm yourself, may start with small, minute things. Things as simple as personal anxieties, low self-esteem issues, insecurities, restlessness, looking down upon yourself, overthinking negative thoughts, and things of that nature. Now, all of this may sound and look very fair and normal, but if these things are kept unchecked, if these traits, if these signs are kept unnoticed and not dealt with it at the earliest, ladies and gentlemen, that is when things starts getting really very scary. One can start getting depressed, one can start having suicidal thoughts, and at the very worst, one can even take his or her own life. And in case you weren't aware, no sane individual would like to end his or her own life. Anyway, type 2 could start the same. A highly insecure, entitled, oppressed, or obsessive mind may come up with desperate, needy, clingy, obsessive, restrictive, and oppressive behavior to the others in town. Now, just like the first type or the first category of toxicity, even this has its own deep-rooted problems, and they all start at an early age. So, if a man or a woman who has such toxic behavior, toxicity of being needy, clingy, restrictive, and oppressive, chances of that leading up to something worse in the future is always a reason. Yes, even a simple trigger for these kind of toxic people, the type 2 kind of toxic people, may compel them to take your life. But like I said, the sad reality of the matter is that both these toxic behaviors starts at an early age. Maybe with your friends, school, college, or even families in most cases. Now, you may choose to frown on me and make faces when I speak family in discussion, but guess what? Having been on call with hundreds of men, having coached and consulted hundreds of men, what I have come in terms with, what I have actually realized is that most of these guys who are in their mid-30s, late 30s, early 30s, late 20s are nothing but just man-childs. Yes, old but highly underdeveloped men. And this couldn't be wrong for a 26, 28, 30-year-old woman who could be old, pretty, but highly underdeveloped in her head. Now you see, there are two easy ways to find your sanity. There are two easy ways for you to balance yourself out. And the very first one is by you disassociating yourself with all these toxic people. But for you to do that, in order for you to be able to dissociate yourself from the toxic people, toxic environment around, you need to get rid of your own personal toxicity first. Because like it or not, ladies, like it or not, dear gents, toxicity attracts toxicity. Yes, if you are a balanced man or a woman, if you are content and aware, you won't be seeking validation, attention, and rewards from the highly vain people. Yes, you won't be chasing gold diggers or highly emotionally clingy women just because they are pretty or hot in your favor. You won't be chasing broken, immature boys just because they have six-pack abs, they look good, they are rich, or they have apparently got their professional life figured. But if you yourself have some deep-rooted insecurities, if you yourself have some deep-rooted traumas, you will find these traumatic people, you will find these psychopaths, these sociopaths, and these lunatics, both for men and women, attractive and appealing. So get rid of your personal toxicity first. Because once you do that, once you are actually in a lot more saner and an aware state of mind, you'll not find attraction, you'll not seek validation, and you'll not be attention hungry from these vain, vile, insane people around. So forget dating, relationship, marriage, or whatever that there is. Fix yourself first, work on yourself first. You can either do it by meditation or you can just seek some therapeutic help. But you need to address it, and you need to address it first. And no, chasing material fame, the new car, the hot chick, or that Christian Grey guy is not a therapeutic cause. It is not a resolve to your problem. I mean, in short, if there is something I would want you to take away from today's video, it'll be this. Seek balance, seek a clear, aware mind. Do not seek vain, insane, narcissistic, wannabe, hypocritical souls alike. For example, men who are always available. For example, men who are never available. For example, men who are always nice and sweet. For example, men who are restrictive, oppressive, obsessive, possessive, and full of personal insecurities. For example, women who are always available. For example, women who are never available. For example, women who are always nice and sweet. For example, women who are possessive, creepy, clingy, and very restrictive. An always available man or a woman, or a non-existent man or a woman, a flaky individual if I may, aren't the signs of a balanced mind or body. Ladies and gentlemen, these traits aren't healthy. So keep your markers on, keep your checklist handy. If and when you spot a weirdo on any one of these dating apps, matchmaking websites, or matrimonial portals, honestly, at this given point in time, I don't even care if you're a man or a woman, or if you seek something serious or casual. If you spot a weirdo, regardless of whatever that there is, kindly give them a reality check. Tell them to go out, work on themselves, fix their insecurities that they have, and then probably come back and talk to you again. It does not only apply to men, it is not only limited to women. It is for the balance and sanity of our society. So, in short, whenever you see these spots, whenever you spot these red flags, scratch them fast and scratch them early. But then comes the phrase, great power comes with greater responsibilities. Internet is a powerful tool. Social media is a powerful tool. Dating apps, matrimonial websites, matchmaking forums are nothing but just a bunch of marketplace, just bunch of powerful tools. So when you're clear in your head, sorted and balanced in life in general, you will use these tools as an empowering medium. I mean, in a society where finding suitable partners, suitable life partners, companionship is getting more and more competitive and difficult, in a society that is finally embracing its independence, freedom and liberty, I, for a change, do feel that these dating apps and all these matchmaking forums play a very important role, a very crucial role in our society. Yes, they do serve a greater cause. But on the contrary, I don't think most of our society, the modern English-speaking society, the society that has been brainwashed by Bollywood and Hollywood for years of misogyny and toxic feminism, I don't think neither of them are ready to go out, date or mingle, let alone these apps, websites or forums in general. Because at the crux of it, at the core of it, one can't learn socializing on social media platforms. No, one can't learn the nuances, the details, the specifics and the crazies of dating and relationship, the crazies of rejection, the crazy of approaching, the crazy of setting up dates, the crazy of failures by sitting on their social media profile or by browsing through matches on Tinder and Bumble. I do not care if you are a man or a woman, but you have to be out there. You have to be out there meeting people in real with your eyes wide open and senses prevail. Yes, you have to be out there approaching people. You have to be out there making new friends. You have to be out there socializing and practicing your own innate human skill. The more you do it, the more socially aware you'll become. And the more socially aware you are, the easier it will be for you to scan out or screen out these toxic people who are highly insecure and dumbfounded in their own way of life. But the problem is, today's population is not really socially savvy. This country is still not so socially savvy. They can't judge people. They can't figure out where they're coming from. They can't figure out if the partner they are seeking, the guy or the girl they are pursuing, are sane, stable and a sorted individual. And no, nobody can teach you about this on a course or on these social media platforms. Gentlemen, the social media, it's just a medium. It's just an empowerer. It's not an enabler. If you choose to live your life on social media, if social media is not an extension of your life, but it rather becomes your life, you will miss out on all the essential life skills that you need to have in order to be safe, sound and healthy. Because at the very crux of it, at the very core of it, all these social media and internet platforms are nothing but just an amplifier. Amplifier of who you are, what you are, and where do you want to be. A 38-year-old man who does not understand accountability, responsibility, boundaries and balance cannot be forced into a marriage just because it is his age or just because he is making a handsome paycheck. Similarly, a 30 or a 28-year-old woman cannot be forced into a marriage because she's pretty, she's still attractive, totally ignoring, totally neglecting the fact that she herself has her deep-rooted insecurities. A 38-year-old man-child and a 30-year-old young and dumb girl aren't any resolve to the given problem. Getting them married isn't a resolve to the existing immature problem. Because my dear, age is not a definitive factor of your maturity, sanity and balance anymore. Age is not a definitive factor of your wisdom and clarity and awareness in life anymore. It has always been and it will always be either your experience or your awareness. So teach yourself the basics first. Teach your friends the basics first. Teach your cousins, sisters, colleagues the basics first. If you know someone who is a man-child or a highly insecure girl, if you yourself are a man-child or a highly insecure girl, dating, getting into a relationship, or even marrying just for the age's number is not or should not be a healthy way to move the society forward. Because gents and ladies, when a society is raised from a highly neglected, rejected, insecure and confused mindset, it only leads up to more and more unstable, insecure, confused and lost souls. In this case, both men and women alike. I mean, it saddens me, It really pains me to say this, but I think, in my humble opinion, the English-speaking society, the modern English society, the modern Indian society, the Bumble-using Tinder dating society is not even ready for Bumble and Tinder at the very first place at all. Because the saddening rise of the toxicity among men and women in the well-read, well-educated and well-earning society is a lot more problematic than you and I can possibly think of. 75 years of freedom, 75 years of independence, and this is how we decide to move our progressive society forward. Insecure, creepy, clingy, unstable, desperate, needy, wannabes, and show-offers. What for and why? I often wonder the cry.